Hey, welcome to the Luxious. Today we'll talk about the highest paid athletes of 2020. The year 2020 has been an interesting one to say the least, with natural disasters crippling much of Australia and a global pandemic effectively putting life as we know it on hold. The opening 5 months of the decade have been fraught with uncertainty and economic struggle. Even our highest paid athletes and sports stars have been forced to take pay cuts and forego the massive paydays they have become accustomed to. But despite the financial troubles hitting the sporting and entertainment industries, that hasn't stopped the big names from raking in some serious dough. Even without games being played and crowds hitting the courts, the highest paid athletes for 2020 have still managed to rustle up a couple of $1 million. In fact, according to Forbes, which just released its annual highest paid athletes in the world report, the top 100 sports stars earned a combined $3.6 billion this year. While that figure appears to be enough to end world hunger, it's actually a solid 9% down on last year's total. It's also the first decline in total earnings since 2016, when boxers Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao skewed the results with their $400 million payout from the 2015 fight of the century. So who made the top of the tops this year? Unsurprisingly, it was a familiar face, but shockingly, it was the first trip to the podium for this winning machine. So without further ado, here is a list of the top 10 highest earning athletes for 2020. Rounding out the top 10 of the highest paid athletes list is Philadelphia Eagles quarterback Carson Wentz. His 2019 signed contract extension with the East Coast team was reportedly worth $128 million over 4 years. It also included a $16.4 million signing bonus as well as a $30 million option bonus paid in March. Kirk Cousins is a man who obviously knows how to negotiate a salary. The quarterback signed a 2-year, $66 million contract extension with the Minnesota Vikings in March 2020. That also included a $30 million signing bonus. Another former top spot earner, Tiger Woods, reclaimed some prestige this year, clawing his way back into contention. While his earnings have been down over the past few years, you can't deny Tiger is still an endorsement machine. Over the past 12 months, the golf dynamo has secured $60 million from his major sponsors. He also recently unveiled a co-created set of irons with TaylorMade and a new memoir back with HarperCollins. Despite the fact that NBA is one of the worst affected tournaments by the pandemic, NBA champ Kevin Durant is still making some serious coin. The basketball star comes in at number 7 on Forbes' highest paid athletes list with total earnings of $63.9 million. The superstar netted $28.9 million in salary over the past 12 months, helped along by his 2019 contract that secured $164 million over 4 years. Despite his Golden State Warriors' less than terrific start to the season, 2-time NBA MVP Steph Curry has still netted an incredible $74.4 million in earnings. His salary is a little higher than James, clocking in at around $30.4 million per season, but unfortunately Curry doesn't have quite the endorsement deals that his Lakers counterpart boasts. Nevertheless, $44 million in endorsements isn't a bad run if you ask us. Basketball icon LeBron James has become a regular on Forbes' highest paid athletes list over the years. The Los Angeles Lakers stars is the highest earning NBA player in 2020, netting total earnings of $88.2 million. His 2018 signed 4-year contract with LA offered $153 million over the period, giving him a healthy amount to play with. In 2018, James launched health and wellness brand Ladder with Cindy Crawford, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Lindsay Vonn. While the four-time MVP's contract is far lower than some of his football counterparts, James more than makes up for it with a whopping $60 million in endorsements. With $95.5 million in earnings, football star Neymar makes it into fourth place on the highest paid athletes 2020 list. His 5-year contract with PSG through June 2022 is worth an estimated $350 million in salary. Pair that with his $25 million in endorsements, and you've got yourself one of the highest earning athletes 2020 has produced. Former highest paid athlete Lionel Messi rounds up the top 3 for 2020 with total earnings of $104 million. The Argentinian scored an incredible $72 million salary this year, helped along by $32 million in endorsement earnings. With his enormous contract with Barcelona through the 2020-21 season, you can expect to see Messi on here again next year. Football star Cristiano Ronaldo is the runner-up in this year's highest paid athletes list. With a salary of $60 million, the Juventus player has one of the biggest contracts in sports history, despite taking a pay cut worth an estimated $64 million in 2018. On top of that, Ronaldo is also the most followed athlete on social media, which has helped him to claim $45 million in endorsements this year. The Swiss tennis dynamo claimed the victory this year, earning a whopping $106 million in pre-tax earnings, edging past soccer icons and previous top spot earners Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi. The Fed Express earned much of his massive salary through his incredible endorsement deals, which has become a common theme among the highest paid athletes for 2020 with little to no sports on offer. According to Forbes, Federer is the first tennis player to land the #1 spot thanks to his deals with Uniqlo, Credit Suisse, and Mercedes-Benz, along with a cheeky 10 other endorsements. If you like our videos, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon. We have other interesting videos as well, so don't forget to have a look at them before you go.